Tax Credits 2023. Welcome back, everyone. So happy to have you back for another update. In today's video, we are going to go over some of the credits you may be eligible for when you file your 2022 tax return. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to go over the Earned Income Tax Credit, the Child Tax Credit, the Additional Child Tax Credit, Credit for Other Dependents, American Opportunity Tax Credit, and the Dependent Care Expense Credit. So make sure you're watching till the very end. For tax year 2023, the maximum earned income tax credit amount is $7,430 for qualifying taxpayers who have 3 or more qualifying children. Here is a chart, the breakdown of the number of children and the credits as well as the income. So make sure to review this as well. Now you can claim the EITC credit for previous years if you were eligible, but you did not claim that credit. For example, for 2020, you have until May 17, 2024 to claim the Earned Income Tax Credit. For 2019, you have until this year, July 15, 2023. So if you were eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit and you did not file a tax return, you need to file a tax return to claim the credits you were eligible for. Now, if you file a tax return already for those previous years, but you didn't claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, you would have to do an amended tax return to claim the credit that you're eligible for. You can search on the IRS.gov website, topic 308, in order to find out how to file an amended tax return. Now, the Earned Income Tax Credit is available to taxpayers with low to moderate earned income with or without a qualifying child. And without a qualifying child, you need to be at least 25 years of age or under 65. The CTC and the ACTC are credits for individuals who claim a child as a dependent if the child meets certain conditions. For example, to claim a child for the Child Tax Credit and the Additional Child Tax Credit, the child must be under the age of 17 at the end of 2022. Now, for the credit, an adopted child is treated as your own child. The CTC is also partially refundable, and that is, it can reduce your tax bill on a dollar for dollar basis, and you might be able to apply for a tax refund of up to $1,500 for anything that is left over. Here is the chart for the CTC. The maximum child tax credit is $2,000. The refundable max is $1,500. The income standard for the child tax credit is under $200,000 for everyone except for married jointly. The income standard is under $400,000. Now, if your child is age 17 or older at the end of 2022, you may be eligible to claim the ODC credit, which is credits for other dependents, and you have to meet their requirements. The person is claimed as a dependent on your return. To determine if an individual is your dependent, you have to follow the steps in the instructions on Form 1040. For example, the person cannot be used by you to claim the CTC or the ACTC. The person has to be a U.S. citizen or a U.S. national or a U.S. resident alien. For more information, you can get that at the IRS.gov website. Type in the search CTC or ACTC, Additional Child Tax Credit. Now, for the American Opportunity Tax Credit, this credit you're eligible for this credit for qualified students. For example, it is a credit for qualified education expenses paid for an eligible student for the first 4 years of higher education. You can get a maximum annual credit of $2,500 per eligible student. If the credit brings the amount of tax you owe to zero, you can have 40% of any remaining amount of that credit up to $1,000 refunded to you. That is the American Opportunity Education Credit. Now, to be eligible to claim that credit, the student must be pursuing a degree or other recognized education credential, be enrolled, at least have time for at least one academic year starting in the tax year, not have finished the first 4 years of higher education at the beginning of the tax year, not have claimed the AOTC or the former Hope credit for more than 4 tax years, and not have a felony drug conviction at the end of the tax year. Those are some of the requirements for the opportunity credit. Now, to be eligible to claim the AOTC or the lifetime learning credit, the law requires the taxpayer to provide Form 1098. That is the form that is given to the students from the institution. It's Form 1098-T. Usually that form, it states here, is issued by the school by the end of January 31st. Now, what are the income limits for the AOTC credit? To claim the full credit, your modified adjusted gross income must be $80,000 or less, $160,000 or less for married filing jointly, and it is reduced. It says you have a reduced amount of the credit if your MAGI is over $80,000 but less than $90,000, over $160,000 but less than $180,000 for married filing jointly, and that is for the MAGI. And you cannot claim the credits if your MAGI is over $90,000 and $180,000 for joint filers. Now, for the child and dependent care expenses, you must meet certain criteria to claim that credit. For example, the care of the person, it says the care must be for one or more qualifying persons. You must meet the earned income test, the work-related expense test. It states here that you must pay child and dependent care expenses to claim that credit. You must make payments for the child and dependent care to someone you and your spouse cannot claim as a dependent. If you make payments to your child, for example, it says here, including stepchild or foster child, he or she cannot be your dependent and must be age 19 or older by the end of the year. And you can't make payments to your spouse, the parent of your qualifying person, if your qualifying person is your child under the age of 13. And also for the 2022 taxes, the credit for child and dependent care expenses is non-refundable, and you may claim the credit on qualifying employment related expenses of up to $3,000 if you had one qualifying person, and $6,000 if you had 2 or more qualifying persons, and the maximum credit is 35% of your employment related expenses, and that is for the dependent care expense. All right, it states here also, the more you earn, the lower the percentage of the employment related expenses that are considered in making a determination for the credit. Once your adjusted gross income is over $43,000, the maximum credit is 20% of your employment related expenses. You can search it on the irs.gov for more information on the dependent care expense. All right, now that brings us to the end of tax credits for 2020 2023. Make sure to explore all of the credits that you're eligible for. Remember, the IRS has already stated that tax refunds for 2023 will be smaller, so you want to make sure you are exploring all of the credits you're eligible for. Make sure to ask any questions in the comments, share any information you have with your fellow taxpayers. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and come back for all of the information that matters to you most, because I am doing the research, so you do not have to. And I will see Tax Credits 2023. Welcome back, everyone.